Coming up next is Misha's Mysteries, the moment you've all been waiting for. Misha digs into the mystery of esoteric substances and use. It's coming up. We got it here. That coming right up.
But first, a word from our sponsor.
Hi, I'm Ben, still here. Why am I still here, you ask? Well, I'm here to tell you that in the world there's bad things happening, and it's all your fault, and you should pay for it. Um, why am I still here, you're asking? Well, that's because um, I'm an aggregate demon form uh, that is definitely doesn't have a gun to his head. Nope, no firearms here. Definitely not. Just there's lots of bad stuff going on across the world. I swear. Trust me, Daddy. I'm Ben still here, and I'm still here.
Do you have diarrhea? What about AIDS? Try this now. Click here. Johnny. This is the next big thing in medicine, pharmaceutical technology. You put it in your eye socket, and there you go. You got all you need right there.
Only $99.99. Call now for a free donut. You got it.
Hey, welcome back. You're on it. You're on me. You got to Misha's Mysteries. You're made it. You made it here, and that's great. It's great to have you. So today we're talking about something fun, I guess, for all ages. Um, well, I thought we'd talk about drugs, just in general. Like just drugs. Drugs. They're in our inner city streets, wreaking havoc on the public. Rah, here they come, drugs. We gotta stop them. We gotta stop the drugs, right? Yeah. So, no. So, yeah, but no. So this term drugs, it's just what even is that? So where does that even come from? What is a drug? I actually now that you think about it, now that you think about it, now that you think about it, well, now that I think about it, well, both of us think about it. If you're listening, which you might be, drug. The drug. They pull the rug. They pull the rug out from under you. Well, they pull the rug out from whatever you were experiencing before. So why talk about this? Why is it relevant? Um, well, I think it's probably like the number one supervillain currently. Like, I mean, realistically, and actually not happening thing that's occurring that makes negative impact on people's lives, but also quite the opposite. So, like, what's it all about? Why do we do it? Where did we go wrong? My teen, my teen, she take the drug and then she go. She abandoned. She doesn't use her easy bake oven anymore. Now she's crocheting little knickknacks in the dark. She goes into a dark room and she crochets knickknacks Well, listening to Radiohead. Yes. She's gone off track. She's lost it. So what I'm trying to say is what I'm trying to say is so the the way that drugs are referred to is completely abhorrent. Uh, where does this blanket term for drugs even come from? Drugs. So we're putting all these substances in one thing as one substance. These literally in it's plural, but we refer to them as singular. And what we're taught in school is, well, they put us all in the gym and they play Requiem for a Dream on uh, on the projector, which I mean, uh, super depressing. And I mean, it can definitely, it can definitely get there depending on which drugs you're doing, the ones that you probably shouldn't do, but it doesn't quite cover it, and it's not really education on the matter. It's just implementing fear in a place where it's actually quite the opposite of what you would want in that area of your life. So, how does this go? How does it work? Let's just go through each and every one of the big ones. Well, let's start off by saying that everything you put in your body is a drug. Absolutely everything. Um, Changes your chemical makeup of your body. That's a drug. Um, Pizza. That's a drug. It changes your state. Changes your state of being. Can be addictive. Um, like what else? Anything you put on your skin, that's also, it counts. Anything that changes your state, you know. So they'll say like let's go through what we refer to as the real ones, though. So marijuana, or wait, no, let's start even lower. The lowest of the low. Alcohol. What does that do for you? Well, and this is the one. Well, this is the one that's like really like pushed, by everything. The entire reality wants you to drink alcohol, and why does it want you to do that? So it causes a complete self-destructive kind of cycle in your life. It keeps you going, but is it really doing anything for you in the end? And also probably alcohol keeps the calendar running. I was gonna talk about time this episode, but maybe next time. Maybe next time we'll talk about time. Hey, how about that? It'll be. Maybe it's just not the right time. Okay, it's getting weird. It's kind of getting weird for me to say time now. It's making less and less sense every time I say the word. I just heard it again when I just said it there. It's just making less and less sense. Okay, so yeah, like it's resetting people onto this cycle of the 7-day cycle, the 7-day week. And this goes along with holidays and whatever not else that just keeps the worker bee going. And of course, I'm not talking down anybody. This is just what's happening. It keeps you just on the brink, It's like you get to that Friday, you're on Thursday. It's like, oh, I'm making it through, right? Wednesday's like dreary, and then Friday it's like, oh, whatever. I made it to the weekend, and then it's Saturday, time to drink. Well, for a lot of you, it's Friday or every day. But the point is that Saturday is the big reset, and I think about it as Saturn. Saturn's day is this where the most weight of the week lies. The serious, well, it's not actually serious; it's the opposite. but the most heavy. You can have the most widest range of experience. You get the heavy good, the heavy bad. It feels like the best day, but it could be the worst day if it goes wrong. And it's just that day of the week that's just like it's such a focus point of everybody's life, and the alcohol that goes there, it flows, and when it does, I mean, it puts you into the ego, the power of the ego for sure. And what's great about alcohol is that it involves you in life, and it gets you going out there, and it gets you slobbering on others and in their personal space, and it gives you that manufactured confidence, which is great. I mean, for me, it's not manufactured. I actually, for whatever reason, get better focus on the right amount of alcohol for certain things. But I guess that's part of what I'm saying. Anyway, and also it's supposed to it's relaxing for your body, but it's pure. I would say, generally, it's why it's pushed so hard for into the public is that it pushes out, it drains your with spirits, it drains out your energy, it puts you on that cycle, like I said. So not a great example for drugs. If I'm on team drugs, I mean, not a good start, right? But I mean, that's just the bare bones of it, for in terms of drank. But yeah, it's referred to as spirits, and I mean, it's good to get yourself out there, and see what you can do. I think it has positive qualities for sure, but not the end goal. It doesn't really. It's not necessarily enlightening, let's say. But yeah, that we don't really refer to that as a drug necessarily, but it is definitely. Oh, I just thought of one. Coffee. Coffee is definitely a drug. Everyone's using, and nobody really says it like it is one. But that's resetting you on a daily schedule. Think about that. Every day puts you. It's reducing you into some sort of way of being. I mean, and of course it doesn't necessarily reduce you. I'm being facetious, but in that sense, in the big picture, it is kind of when you're adding something to you that you need every single day. And I speak, of course, while holding my Starbucks cup. You can probably hear the straw I'm banging around. Yeah. So, but I mean, coffee, it gets you going. What can I say? It gets you going. And there's nothing to just nothing you can really just shoot. You can't shoot that one down with a 10-foot gun. Moving on. So, moving on. We got what's up next. Yes, the gateway drug is referred to. The gateway. This is a good one to really dig in to what my point is. So marijuana, the Mary Jane, reefer, the maddening bush, green goblin, Kool-Aid Kush, the good stuff, the plant, it's a plant. Plant you in your couch, in the couch. Yeah. So this is the one. I think this is the one. It's of course it's more accepted as it became legal in most Western in Western society, but it's still stigmatized to the way that it's or the to the amount that it's just the same as you're doing heroin or something. Um, well, what is it? What is it a gateway to, right? I mean, all understanding of everything. I mean, and I'm not even being like short. I'm not even being over. I'm not being overy over. I'm not being overy over about this because it puts it. It's for as I've experienced it. It's exactly like Pink Floyd said or showed the brick in the wall or whatever was going on there. Your ego, it puts you outside of your ego all of a sudden, and if it's your first time being not seeing out without life without your ego, it changes your entire life in that sense that you can see your foolishness or the complete absurdity of life all in one go. Um, and I mean, I guess the way that we can refer to it as a gateway drug, and now you're gonna be in the back alley rolling dice and playing pogs with the smelly neighbor. I mean, you're waking up to yourself and everything around you in a completely different way, and not everyone's ready for that. Obviously, I think that's the key part of it. Um, and I would say like drugs in general, in this sense, aren't really the problem. It's the environment or the way that people around it treat it or refer to it or yeah, like create the relationship around to them as a hive mind or whatever, as a group, because it creates the the fear creates the scenario because we're become when you ingest the margarine of Juanita, you're becoming super sensitive and relaxed at the same time. And I mean, I think sensitivity is looked down on in a lot of ways. So, in that sense, is also why it's kind of dragged. But I think, I think the people that stigmatize marijuana, which is a medicine, by the way, it's a plant medicine. It has its own, like spirit and way of healing, a modality of its own. It's understated how powerful marijuana is, and not in a way that's like gonna like crack your life into like it's gonna show you so much and continuously. It doesn't quit in that regard because our ego is such involved, and every time that you see it yourself with or from behind, like not from behind, but like outside of that experience, the ego experience, that can change. It changes things, and in the best way, because not in the best way always. I mean, it can be quite frightening what you can stumble upon but it's because why you're stumbling upon those things when you're ingesting or smoking up, getting casting the stony spell on yourself, is because it's closer to the truth, and what you're seeing is what's actually happening. Because the key point, what I was trying to get to, is that it relaxes your body. That's what it's doing. That's what a lot of That's what a lot of these substances are doing. They're just relaxing your body. Let's go to another one quickly. I probably have more to say about marijuana, but this isn't really in order either, I guess. Let's just, like ketamine, for instance. Ketamine, the horse one. Like this is like this should be free. Like this, uh, in the sense that people should have access if they're in pain. Painkillers, pretty basic. I mean, like, what's the drawback to the public having what, just direct access to painkillers if they're in pain? Um, like, and ketamine. I mean, obviously you don't want to take too much because you'll go into the horse dungeon, and nay, do we want that? But the point is that you will have a good. You're not that you're having a good time. It's medicine. You're feeling your body and your life, your experience of life, without the pain associated with it, and that's what brings about. That's what brings about the enlightenment, because we're so our egos are so overpowering of our lives at times that we don't even realize certain things going on in our vessel, our body, that is our instrument of life, which isn't the be all end all, but it's definitely the hole to go down. the whole your personal hole. Right. Anyway, so as far as gateway drugs, I mean, what is a gateway to? So far, I would still say understanding of yourself, and that's what it's about your intention going into the experience, and your expectation, and that doesn't always add up together into what the number you wanted, let's say, when ingesting a substance, and that can be hard. I think that's a big part of why things like this aren't accepted, because fully because people are afraid of giving up control of everything, their life, or just their experience. I mean, just giving up control over their experience. I don't think people are generally into that idea, because a life is about being perfect. You're meant to be perfect and calculated and just on a hot one at all times. just riding dirty, and balling hard. That's the philosophy, the main one that fills up your life. The filler. Yeah. Okay. We're talking about. Let's talk about so we're going through each of these individually, because they're different. They're different is why I'm talking about them all. So let's go to like something like so we done stimulant, we got a depressant, or no, we got two depressant. Like stimulants. Let's can I say this? Can I say cocaine? Is that allowed? Cocaine. I mean, a stimulant such as that. I mean, there's a place for that in someone's life. Sometimes you just need to really feel your own power, and that's enough. And I mean, obviously, it can be taken to extreme, because it is kind of extreme, but isn't that the point? I mean, sometimes you just need to feel the blood rushing through you, and know that you can take on uh, uh, the demiurge yourself, or and that you could go live off grid and in Alabama and soft your shotgun and just have a hell of a time. You can do that, and I mean all the power to you. Um, Obviously, I guess not obviously, but it's not good for your heart. Stimuluses over repeated use and such like that. I'm not a doctor per se, but I would say that is something to observe. But yeah, I mean, stuff like that, stimulants aren't all just terrible for your life. It just doesn't really fit in the. I guess it just doesn't really fit in the I was gonna into the framework of how people's kind of life dynamic goes. Because I mean, like, where does it really fit in a meaningful way? And I mean, it's not necessarily, again, not one of the more enlightening ones, but I mean, still, it's important for your body to feel good, and for yourself to feel good in general, I would say, on that. So then we got, drugs. Yeah, we got next. Let's move on to psychedelics, which I think is the big one. Very widely. There's no way you can group these all together and just say, oh yeah, there you go, you got your drugs there, boy, and you don't do them because the reason that I said a long time ago when I met ye yonder, that the truth is that psychedelics, each of them are very different. So I'll go through them quick, or as quick as can be. So then let's start with mushrooms. Yes, they are technically a poisonous mushroom, I suppose. But really, I think it's more that you have to become compatible with its communicative myogenic, the MYO thing, the little living neuron like plant speakers, the brain of the mushroom that can grow under incredible conditions all across the world in underground underground little fairy towns. Like these things are amazing. They're the future of everything. They know everything and more. Like you don't have to go to I don't know how to say this, but you don't have to go to school necessarily because what mushrooms has shown me at times is that it's the process that matters, and the mystery that you're trying to solve or unfold or study or research, it's all right in front of you. It's all here in nature. And the process is the most important part of whatever you're trying to understand or learn. But the thing is, mushrooms know more than you, plus more, and they all have different kind of temperaments and personalities, even amongst themselves when you ingest them. But the thing, I think the tough part about mushrooms is it can get chaotic, and also it can be scary because I mean, yeah, just some of the themes and the sensitivities that you're opened up to are enormous, which I think can be, well, at times very difficult, but they're already being accepted in certain areas of the Western world for treatment of depression, because it opens you up to those the avenues, the freeways, the interstate of information, the intergalactic or the network, the big one of information, just like it opens you up to the mysteries of life again. I could definitely see anybody depressed just on a small amount of microdosing to become a lot happier, because mushrooms are happy. Mushrooms are happy little plants or fungi. Yeah, so that's mushrooms, and they have. I mean, there's drawbacks, and they're heavy on the body, but also it change your life in a positive way. I mean, definitely scary at times, but it's real. It's real shit. Real shit. Yeah. So, what's the next step? Where do we go from mushrooms? What's the next big bad boy on the list? Probably like LSD. LSD, yeah, it's roughly in the same ballpark, the same kind of idea. Opens up yourself to. I don't know. I don't even know. My experiences are actually more scary on LSD, if anything. Lysergic, acid, something. Dioxylamate. I probably just said like the scientific name for like sugar or something. Anyway, the LSD, again, time and a place. I mean, it'll take you down all types of avenues of your own psyche. That's the thing. It's not like drugs are like necessarily adding anything to you. Everything that you experience not everything, but I mean, yeah, everything you experience on a drug is part of you. That's kind of what I started with, is because it becomes a part of you when you ingest it, but that's what makes it a drug, drug in essence. But what I'm saying is actually that whatever you're experiencing on like what we call hallucinogenics or the psychedelic experience, that's you. That's inside of you, or that's part of you. It's all you. When you're on that hot one, when you're on the hot one, that's all you. That's what it's revealing. It's just revealing the layers, the underbelly of your experience, or something that's always been here, that is still like that you're connected to, but you're just not aware of. But that's also why it can be scary for the general public, because what if they're wrong? What if they're wrong? You know, what if they're wrong about one thing in their life, a major thing? what if, you know? I won't spoil it. I won't spoil it. I won't do any spoilers for them. It's their life. I'm not judging anybody. Time and a place. So yeah. So even when we go through psychedelics, the next couple on the list are like not even in the same area. Like, so ayahuasca, is that the same as marijuana? Is that the same as alcohol and pizza? I mean, now that I kind of say it like that, they kind of are. They kind of sound similar, and they kind of are. They're just different. You're just subscribing to different chemicals or different experiences of your life that you prefer. Um, but no, like ayahuasca connects you to something otherworldly, but at the same time, most worldly, as if it is the main player, the main Pachi Mami, the mother of your life, ayahuasca, the mom, the world's mom, that's always looking over you and is embedded in pretty much everything we do. And are all drugs just a picture, a different perspective, literal perspective of Pachamama, of Gaia, of are they all just kind of different overlays of the same idea? Ayahuasca, maybe, but I don't think so. I think they all have different kind of modalities, but yeah, ayahuasca is not the same as marijuana. And it's not the same. I mean, it's not the same as it's not the same as cocaine or ketamine. I mean, not at all. And they should not be referred to as such. And then also, the next one I'll talk about should not be referred to by anybody. I would say just don't even worry about it. I don't know. I don't know if anybody's ever really. I don't know how many people actually have tried it, but salvia, salvia. You whatever. I just say, just don't do it. Just don't do it. It's so not what you want to do at a party. Like, it's not. Oh my goodness, you do not want to do it at a party. You don't want to. It's not a party thing. It's just like pretty much none of these are. They're all medicine. I mean, with the right environment, the right people, but generally just not salvia. I mean, it'll shatter your existence into pieces, like literally, like viscerally. It will shatter everything. Or it'll just make you titter. It just make you giggle, or one of the two, you know. Or it'll just make you really uncomfortable, you know. Like really, it's such a visceral experience, but it also connected to something. Who even knows what is going on there? What part of this kind of realm it's indulging in? Like I don't know what's going on with salvia. Yeah, that's not. It's not. No, there's no comparison between these things that really needs to be grouped together as a gang of thugs that are gonna get you because they're all doing different things. But I think there's definitely positives to salvia, but um, that will be for another time to me, for me to get into. But I'm gonna, because I've heard that if you chew salvia, the plant prefers you to chew it as opposed to burning it, and I could see that because I could see that being a thing because when you burn it, you have to burn it really hot, and it's just kind of huge onset crazy times. But I think if you chew it, it might be a slower, more. You might just. I don't know why I'm thinking of like you're like you'll go on a nice. You'll be in Forrest Gump the movie. You'll be in Forrest Gump 2. Your own little Gump adventure. Who knows? It might be fun. I don't know. I feel like it could really teach you something amazing. But so that's the thing, I guess, is another thing I will talk about. Like with these substances, they talk about it's like the Garden of Eve, or am I even saying that right? Eve's garden, the garden of Adam and Eve. They took the apple of knowledge, or that's the anecdote or the allegory being taught. But is that like, isn't that doesn't that it feels like a bit of a how do you say that, like deceiving. So where the story of Adam and Eve, and how this relates to drugs is like you don't do drugs because then you might learn something, essentially, or even with like doing tarot or any of these like doing a pendulum or any sort of astrology or it's because it's divination, or like it's God will tell you what you need to know at the right time, and you don't have to go thinking about it and doing stuff like that, because that's Satanism. And I think there is something to that because, well, yeah, because things do come to you at the right time, and uh, adding to your, or not necessarily, yeah, ingesting and accelerating and putting yourself into the world in a much more exaggerated, caricaturist way through bringing yourself to extremes is attachment. It's a form of attachment to this world. Sorry. What I would definitely call Satanism is like overly attaching to the world. And that kind of is where I could see people saying that, but isn't that could be a deception as a whole? Because think if how I think about it is, so Adam and Eve, they ate the apple. Oh no, they did the wrong thing and now they're cursed. But we see the serpent as the deceiver and the knowledge as bad. But is it? Or is it that whatever is tinkering with reality and is pushing religion and that kind of train of thought, maybe it just wants you on that train, right? To be manipulated easier, putting it out there, and that, like, the fact that it's quite obvious that ingesting some of these substances uh, releases you from the ego and the attachment to life, it kind of trumps that idea. And also that it relaxes your body. I don't see the drawback, to some of that. Comparing that now, I guess, talking about comparing it to the apple, in that story of ye old time Eve, ye old Eve and Adam, before pre-Apple Adam, when they were in that garden and they spoke to the slithery snake, and they just did crystal meth. They did crystal meth with the snake, and then God cast them away forever. Yeah. So I guess that's a good segue to crystal meth. This is not great. This is not a great substance. It's not great sustenance. For large groups of people, I don't think it goes. It doesn't. I don't think it really does anything great. But it's not like it's the end. It's not really necessarily the end of the planet that people are doing it. It's more the atmosphere around it, and that it's being punished and sought out to be stopped. All the whatever, and the the war on drugs that continues. Isn't that? And I would see that as more of because it even happens with people doing marijuana. It's like, oh no, we see that you are doing a drug. Do you not know what you're doing to your life? We get you nice home. We get nice home for you. You have nice job. Why you would do drug, right? No, don't do drug, because status quo. We need to meet the status quo. My son Dracula. We must meet the status quo. Yeah, I don't know if that was Transylvanian. It sounded more Romanian, or maybe Polish, Russian. Yeah. Yeah, but anything, I just don't, it's pretty obvious which is what and where. You can see what the negative ones are quite plainly, and you don't get them twisted. You don't get it twisted. What's another one I could touch on? These ones that clearly do not do good things. Like anytime you're there's better things to do. Like heroin. Do not. No, I mean don't do heroin. And stuff like that. They're not, but they're not in. Do I have to say it? Fenty, the Fenty one. There's no reason. If that's clearly there's something else going on on our thine earth planet, when people are pushed into a corner, literally, to be stabbing themselves with needles, and for what? I mean, that? No. But yeah, that's not the same. I think when people see that, they connect the ideas, because that word, the drugs, do the. Hey guys, I just want to add in a disclaimer at the end here. a big point of what I was trying to say is that it's not that drugs are bad, and it's actually more so that people are doing the wrong drugs and not basically aren't doing enough drugs, and also that using the term drugs to refer to all of them is just plain wrong and dangerous. And also, I didn't really say that a key point is that you should definitely, like, I usually prescribe most people in my life when I get in this conversation. If you're of age, obviously, Molly, you should try, like, Molly is therapy. And again, not for everyone, but in my experience, Molly is nice and good within moderation and in the right dosage. And don't drink on Molly. You don't need to do that. Yep, that's all I was going to say. Yep, Molly's good. Thanks, bye.